What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my studio. I'm Joseph Finchum, you're you, and today we're going to be attempting this negative space tree inside a maple leaf, and as I mentioned in the chat, I'm already off to a bad start. Not really, but kinda sorta. The problem is that about an hour and a half before starting, because the original plan was I was going to do the masking fluid and then do the wash. And about an hour and a half before the stream started, I remembered that this stuff takes like an hour to dry. And watching me do this and then waiting an hour would be kind of pointless. So I went ahead and I did the tree and the outline of the maple leaf before the stream. So now the stream is just going to be a wash of Graphitints. And I don't know how long that's going to take. So this could be really short. It could be the normal length. I don't know. So let me get to the chat. Hello, Clark Fine Art. Thank you for being here and moderating. Check out Angela's channel. It's linked in the description. I'm doing that now because I've apparently forgotten to do it in the last two streams. Hello, Tara, and hello, George. Thank you all for joining me. So let's get into this. So this is my tree and my maple leaf outline. I'm sure there are parts of this where I have used too much masking fluid, and I'm sure there are parts where I haven't used enough. We'll find that out at the end, maybe, depending on how long it takes to dry, because you can't really blow dry masking fluid. It screws everything up and it can make it adhere to the paper a little bit more, and you don't want it to adhere to the paper more. So hopefully we'll see what happens. Hi Sim, thank you for joining me. You started just as many? Well, that's good. I do one a week, Clark. Okay, then that works too, yeah. You should have finished 5 projects already today and have finished none. I couldn't even think of planning 5 projects at a time. That's just crazy to me. So, yeah. So let's get started. So, I got a big old brush here that I'm going to use just to wash everything. Get the paper wet. Now, the thicker stuff has had about an hour to dry, and the thinner stuff maybe about half an hour, 20 minutes. The paper is the Canson, the one that you use, the cold press watercolor, but I'm using the smooth side, not the rough side. Okay, so let's start getting this wet, and hopefully it won't go crazy bad. Seems to be holding, so that's good. I'm not a professional with masking fluid. I've used it maybe twice before. Trying to keep all the water inside the lines. Okay. Now I'm going to switch to a thinner brush. And I am using Graphitints for most of this. But I'm also going to be using just one of the Derwent watercolor, because there's no yellow in my Graphitints. And I want at least some yellow in here. So let's see how we do here. That's pretty thin. Probably should have put many, many more layers of pencil down on my paper that I'm using to swatch here. And I'm getting a bit of glare, so it's a little hard to see. Let's see if I can just add some more real quick. I'm just heavily scratching it on the surface of the paper. I am using, I think I already put it away. I am using Daler-Rowney masking fluid for watercolor. And I put my bottle away. I don't know if anybody else does this. When you put your masking fluid away, I usually pour a little into a cup or something to use when I use it. Because, you know, air is the enemy of masking fluid. It will solidify it. When you put your masking fluid away, turn it upside down. That way, any air that gets trapped at the top of at the bottom of the bottle. So anything that becomes hard and solidifies will be at the bottom. And over time, it'll build up, and you'll lose some of your masking fluid, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. That's a little bit better. And I don't know if you can definitely already kind of see the trees starting to form through it. Want it to be a little bit darker towards the inside, so just a little bit more in here. Hey, Starving, thanks for joining. I got a hair trapped on my face, and it's driving me crazy. And hello, Paulo. Thank you for joining me. Nice to have you here. Okay, so now I'm going to start going into a little bit of the, I think it's the port, which is kind of like a rusty red. Actually, no. Strike that. I want the meadow, which is a light yellowy green. This is already kind of drying, so I'm just going to kind of re-wet it. over here. I'm probably going to warp the hell out of this paper because I'm very bad at knowing how much water to put down. So that you get the wash look of it. Oh, I got a stray hair here. Oh yeah, this paper is warping terribly. I've done that, Clark. I've done that with many things. Yep. They're always making demands, and Angela, you are absolutely right. That has become their cue. Okay, now, I think the ivy green is more. And the fact that this is just a bunch of washes means it's not going to take very long. So, like I said, I don't know how long this stream's going to be. I'm getting pretty close to the edge there. let it soak some of that up, let it stain a little. Maybe a little bit more of the meadow towards the top there. And of course, I should wet that first. Make sure it flows well. Now, I know a little bit of this is going to mix and become kind of brownish, and that's okay. Soften this a little bit. Okay. Let me go back a little. I'm definitely missing some stuff. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a fun thing to do. I'm just trying to lessen some of these harsher areas. I'd rather it be a soft blend than a stronger blend. I don't know if that's the right terminology. Okay. Hi Jamie Eddie? Edie? Jamie Eddie. I never know how to pronounce your last name, just like Lisa. But hello, thank you for coming. I have not tried them. Not at all. That's good to know, Paulo. Hmm. And the selection of colors is rather good. That's cool. I love the studio pic on the website. I can't seem to even get my studio tour film that is supposed to be happening on Thursday. The struggle is real. Yeah, my studio tour would be me spinning in a circle because this room is not as big as it looks. Uh, my new phone has that like ability to like pull really far back, and that's the only way I got it in the picture. Every other picture I've ever tried to take is like a corner of the room. Yep. I have one of those somewhere. I've always just like I leave a part towards the edge somewhere, kind of thick, and kind of just start, like you do with rubber cement. You just kind of like work, like go like this and work it with your finger until it starts to pill up, and then you can just kind of use that to wipe it around. Um, I've seen people pick at it with their fingernails. That's a bad idea. So yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Nancy. I am having a little bit of fun with it. I'm not getting the saturation that I wanted, but these are graphitints and I've never used them before, so maybe that's just something they do. I don't know. But I definitely got some of that orange color I was looking for, so I'm glad about that. Yes, they can definitely be little savages, that is for sure. Edie, okay. Good to know, Jamie. Yeah, I didn't test it, Clark. I should have, but I absolutely did not. Mostly because I wasted 3 pieces of paper just getting here. Like even the page I'm using as my little like palette was a mess up of the original outline. So and yeah, cleanly make sure it moves cleanly without tearing the paper. Yep, that's the hard part. Well, you're in Ireland, right, Tara? I mean, comparatively, American houses are just built bigger than European houses. I don't know why, but we like our space apparently. Yeah, that's exactly been the problem though, starving is all the colors are very like as you can see, all the colors are very muted. So like finding I originally this was going to be a landscape in Graphitint, but finding a landscape with the necessary colors was becoming very difficult to do. Dry faster. So, yeah, it's a challenge. That is for sure. Okay, let's see if we can get a little bit darker on these edges. Now that at least the edges are getting closer to drying. This is, well, I'm not even sure what color this is. This is the port. The first one I used was autumn brown. Now I'm using the port, which is kind of a more red. Trying to get that a little bit more dense. Or maybe this is the autumn brown. And I'll have to go over this with some of the port. I didn't write down where I put stuff, which, as we all know, is usually a mistake. Pull some of that water up so it doesn't pool too badly. A little bit more of that darkest green. What was that called? I think it's slate green. I hope so, because I'm about to put some down. Get off, get off. Don't stain my paper. Oh, that was a mistake. Went over the masking fluid. But you know, you can always fix things in Photoshop later. Bit more of that meadow green up at the top again. Try and get some saturation up here. Give it a little space to spread. Blend some stuff out. How are we doing here? Okay, everything's a learning experience and everything is worth diving into. I mean, why not give it a try, right? I hope it's fun for you guys watching me make mistakes. Wonder if I can make the port a little bit darker by adding a little bit of juniper to it. I'll do a light little bit of the juniper, which is in purple, and then go back to the port, go over it with the port, see what happens. This I'll test over here on this piece and see what happens. Where did I just put that pencil? Where'd you go? And the juniper is weird because, like, if you look, I don't know if you can see this, but if you look here, that is like a pretty deep purple. But then the color on the end of the pencil looks like gray to me. I don't know about you guys, but to me that's kind of bad. Let's see. Does that look? Well, it looks a little darker. Give this a shot, see what happens. And I'm just going to keep playing with this until I either get something I like or I make mud. Let's see here. Maybe if I take a little bit of the port, get it a little bit more orange up in here. Maybe a little bit more yellow. I gotta get a little bit darker up in here. Definitely gonna need some more of the dark green. And before it sets, blend it out a bit. Trying to avoid harsh lines. Now I'm gonna let that sit a little bit. Check up on chat. How we doing here? Yes, we should all do that. Yes. Hi, Valerie. Thanks for dropping by. Long time no see. Yes, it's very possible that I will find out that I have no idea how to use this and I shouldn't have even tried. But yes, it's definitely something worth giving a shot. And I'm finding little pieces of masking fluid pilling up already, so I may already be peeling some of this off, which isn't good. But for the most part, it does seem to be working. And does look a little bit more saturated on my end than it does on screen. Maybe I can fix that. See if I can. Oh, that might be a little too much, but that looks a little better. The saturation's way off now, though. Never. Never enough time, Valerie. Almost every day for me is like, hey, I got all day to do this. Let me get it done. And then next thing you know it, I'm sitting there falling asleep going, I got nothing done. Okay, where is my dark green? Hmm. What color does this blend out as? This one that I just picked up is called Shadow. I'm wondering if it's a green or a blue. Because it's kind of hard to tell by the little colored end caps. I think it's blue. Which might help add to the darkness up here that I'm looking for. If I had enough of it. Nah, let's just stick with the dark green as soon as I figure out where I put it. This one? Oh, gotta be this one. Just gonna scratch off another heavy layer. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to use the pencils directly over the masking fluid, so I'm kind of glad that I did it this way with the washes. bit more of the orange color, because it's not really coming across very orange in the middle. It's coming off still a little bit more on the red side. So see if we can make some orange. Yeah. Still a little bit more towards the brown side. But it definitely added a lot more contrast, so that's what I want. Oh, yes. Paint spots everywhere. I have black, white, and like a bluish, purpley bluish color all over that wall and that wall from the one I did with the painting I did with the moon and the like phoenix being hatched from the moon. Yeah. That's something we all do, Clark. Don't worry. Blend this a little better. See if we can lose that harshness. Need some more of that green. I mean, this looks mostly almost white, and it's definitely a, a green. So that's weird. So yes, let's get caught up. Oh, we all need our naps. Net Valerie, indeed. You need a do-over for something you haven't done yet? How does that work? That was weird. My mouse has started to not unclick. You know, you click it down and it just stays like it's in the down position. Driving me crazy for a week now. Yep, yep. Oh, always splattering the brand new things. Yeah. I think we all do that. See if I can soften that a little bit. It definitely could be considered marking your territory. Thanks for coming by, Valerie. It's definitely nice to see you. Thank you for coming by. I'll have to remember that, but I think the right side is going too. It is about a 10-year-old wireless mouse, so I'm sure there's enough dust and gunk in there that's causing the problem. So yeah, I don't know how much more I can do on this. I do still want to get the reds deeper, like as deep as the green is on the other side. But I don't want to have to add any unnecessary color to it, like black or something like that. I tried the purple, but that didn't seem to work. Maybe if I just try and keep it very dense. It's looking better. So yeah, I don't know how much. I don't think I can do much more to this. And we've only been at it for an hour, so who knows? Ooh, Clark, I missed that one. Yeah, that that would definitely be a problem. That's also why I put stuff away. Oh, that list doesn't ever get smaller. I have one of those lists, and it absolutely never gets smaller. I think I think the top peak needs a little something something. But not too dark. Where's my meta? And I am liking the way it reactivates, like watercolors do. It's one of the problems I had with I have with the Inktense is that they do get a little too permanent for my liking. Or I guess I should say a little bit too permanent, too fast for my liking. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to go back and forth starving. Um, I know it's never completely drying, but I'm trying to get there. That is definitely a funny one, Clark. Is it that I'm talking too much? And you were like, geez, let me pause this guy for a second. Everything, George. Everything takes longer than I estimate. This is probably the first piece I am actually going to finish in one sitting in a long time. That's part of the beauty of a negative space object is, it'll stay white, hopefully, and we'll get something pretty out of it. Hi, Gypsy. Thanks for coming by. I'm also dabbling with the idea because the original idea wasn't even a negative space thing. I was gonna do like just a black silhouette with like the thick black outline around the entire leaf, but I figure if I do it in the negative space, I get one version of it. I can take some pictures or some scans of it, and then I can throw it in Photoshop and add that black in there, or a dark green, or split the colors and do all kinds of different things. So leaving it white gives me a lot of options of what I can do if I want to make prints of it. My hair. Yeah, this is definitely a different live stream for me. Too much talking. I'm gonna have a sore throat later. I think I have a dark indigo. I think that comes in the set. Aubergine. I know I'm pretty sure I saw it. Yeah. Yep, I have dark indigo. What color is that? That's like a really deep blue, right? Let's see how it looks. Maybe that'll give me the darkness in the tips that I want. Hmm. Try a little bit right down in here. See if it changes the color any. Because it's going to pick up some of the green that I've already put down. So let's see. See how that dries out. You can't see it because I left a thing over it. It looks pretty good. Most of it's getting to be about dry. If I would just stop, re-wetting it. Yeah, that was a bad idea. Should have left the color there. Just for that, I'm gonna wait and then startle you, Clark. No, I'm not gonna do that. Ooh, the pan set. That's a that's a good thing, Teresa. I I didn't get these pencils. These pencils were a gift, and that's why I kind of felt bad that I've never used them because, when somebody gives you something, you should definitely use them. Oh, do you really need fodder? You're enough trouble on your own. But at least there's no bots chasing you away. Well, Clark doesn't have the bots that chasing you away anymore either, so. Trying to think of how much I like this area. Should this also be a little deeper? Like more like the tips are? Um the problem is the if it was on against the white, I'd be able to judge the values of it, but because the masking fluid is that weird greenish color, it's throwing off my sense of color. Is that one of the projects you're procrastinating from doing, Angela? The graphitin pans? Well, I didn't kill nothing. That was all Angela. I had no control over that. And I've never had one on mine because I never used uh, the Streamlabs OBS. And I don't know if anybody heard, but Streamlabs has gotten a little trouble lately. They, apparently they've been using the OBS name forever without really ever having permission to do so. There's a whole little bit of a controversy going on because they came out with some new service or something and they were like, "Hey, look at our new service." And people were like, "Wow, your service is just completely copied someone else's service." And like down to like the tweets of like, "Hey, I use this service and it's great," were like from the other thing. So, yeah, they were being very naughty, starving artists. Very, very naughty. Yeah, so I don't know what else to do with this right now. Pretty much just letting it dry at the moment. So feel free to chat away. I'm gonna grab a drink. Oh yeah, I could definitely see them having that old timey quality to them with you. Did it kind of like a sepia, you know, colored, not quite black and white. I don't know. I can't describe what I'm picturing in my head. Yeah, that it seems a very weird thing for them to do. I mean, maybe 20 years ago you might have been able to pull that off, but in today's day and age, everybody's going to be able to notice. I mean, especially when like your tutorial type things about your new service are the other places tutorials. Like you just change the pictures to stuff of your thing. It's it's pretty bad. And that's about as close to a rant as you'll ever get from me. It's a pretty bad thing. It is one you should be doing, Clark. Yep. And again, I don't know how you can have 5 ideas going at once. I have a book of ideas, and there are some of them. I think I make some of my ideas more complicated than they need to be, and it involves math to figure out how to get stuff done. Like some of my weird shaped landscapes. They were naughty, Gypsy. I don't know the full brunt of it. I saw a video about it, but I didn't fully pay attention to what I was listening to. But they basically ripped off somebody else. I'm gonna go for a little bit more on these tips again. How do I keep losing this green? There it is. Rid of my paper towel because I wasn't thinking. Am I being too quiet for you now, Clark? Ah, okay. Catch up on the chat a little bit. Let me. Ah, I'm killing stuff. Breaking things. Uh, uh, see what we got here. That's it. Lightstream. That's the name I couldn't think of. Yeah. Yep, that was the one. Lightstream and Elgato's Stream Deck. Yep. Yes, it's good to write down your ideas, even if it's ideas that you know you may never get to. I write down every idea I have, whether it's good or bad, because hey, sometimes the bad ones can be turned into good ones if the right other good idea comes along. Indeed, entirely a different thing. Yeah, Gypsy, you're right on that. It is not entirely impossible that they would do things that were similar, but I mean, like there were people were showing examples, and it was like if you went to their troubleshooting page, it was a copy of the other person's page just with different pictures. All of the info, all of the type, everything. It was straight up plagiarized. And then they were like, "Oh, well, that was just a place marker, and now we changed it, but it was too late for that." Inspired by starving, Clark? That's interesting. Yes. Yeah. They literally asked, and OBS was like, "No, we want nothing to do with you." And they were like, "Okay, we're Streamlabs OBS." No, no one needs that kind of infamy. That would definitely be trouble. So I'm wondering if the inside pieces here are dry enough to let me start pulling this off. Let's see. Well, I don't know if you can see. See, I'm just gonna start kind of rubbing at it, and it'll start to peel up slowly. And once you get enough, you can kind of just start rolling into it. And it does look like it stained the paper a bit, but that's okay. the stuff that got over the tape is coming off a little bit easier than the stuff that didn't. Is this dry enough over here? It's looking like it. And I know I'm probably doing this too early, but I'm going to concentrate mostly on the outside, which has had a good 2 hours to dry now. Got a little speck there. A little bit that slipped out, or a little tiny spot I didn't cover. Can you see the staining of the paper? Or is it too blown out for it to show for you guys? Another little spot here. Cool. Hey, you never know where inspiration is going to strike you from. And that's a good thing. I'm getting a little sloppy here. There's the spot I missed with before. And oh, is that, how satisfying is that? I don't know if you can see that peeling up. This is kind of cool. It's like I'm pulling the skin right off of something. I'm just going to keep going until it snaps. Wow, that was kind of satisfying. And now I have this little ball I can use to start picking up some of the other stuff. Some spots definitely need a little help. Gonna rub my finger over it. Let it all pill up. Dab up all these little pieces, or at least try and get as many as I can. And there we go. That looks pretty cool. I like it. My leaf had a sunburn and now it's peeling. Yep. Yeah, the Molotov masking pen. I've definitely seen people use that. I've never tried it myself, but one day. But yeah, I don't know. You definitely can't see. Wow, how many times have I hit my table and you guys haven't told me? Let me see if I can. If I click to the full screen, I hope this didn't screw everything up. But I don't know. You can definitely see the staining. See if I can change the color here a little bit. What am I looking for here? Does that look like what I'm seeing? Yeah, that pretty much looks like what I'm seeing. And you can, like I said, you can, if you can definitely see the staining going all the way around. The masking fluid did not do that great. But it's also very old, so, um, yeah. That's pretty much where we're going to finish up. So, yeah, we're cutting it a little short, but sometimes that happens. Uh, Thank you, Angela, for being here. Uh, check out the moderators. There's supposed to be two. There was only one, as far as I know. Links are in the description. I'm not forgetting this time. Angela's channel is very cool, and she's apparently got a whole bunch of stuff planned, so that'll be fun to see. Nobody wants that. Nobody. Nobody wants that. Yeah, so this will I'll probably toss this in at the end of the next group challenge, which is autumn art. So yeah, the challenges are always linked in the Lockery Artist group on Facebook and MeWe and Facebook, whichever. There's always a new one up at the beginning of the month. Usually the first Friday of the month is the deadline for the previous month, and when I put up the new ones. And yeah, hit me up on the social medias and do, hit the buttons, do the things. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. No need to say it. And I thank you for joining me. Couldn't do it without you guys. I'd like to thank my patrons, who I still haven't thanked him very, very well. Tara is one of them, which is awesome. And Tomara is one of them, and Gypsy is the other. And I couldn't do any of this without you guys. It's just a start, but it's a good start. We're getting there. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.